Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Well, the other day I was speaking with a group, and a question was asked of me, and that question was, what is this purpose of life? Why were we born? Why did we come here? What are we doing here? And where are we going? You know, those easy questions that we have to answer. But this particular person that asked that question wanted to know how they fit in, what is happening in their lives, what is the experience to experience in this life. They said, is it just to come here and just to work and do things and that's all, and that's what life should be? So it was a good question. And my answer to that question was a very simple understanding that my belief is that we are here to experience our infinity. We are here to experience in this finite form, this body that we have, to experience what is that celestial form of us, and to find that balance between the physical and the non-physical, between the finite and the infinite, and to live in that consciousness of that awareness that we're never separated from the entire universe, that we're part of everything that exists, that we're part of the cosmos, and the cosmos is part of us, and that we're here not to be sad, not to be unhappy, but we're here to rejoice in our understanding that we can achieve a consciousness, a depth of consciousness, and in that consciousness feel that we're part of all existence and vibrate to that existence. And that the way to achieve that is through our meditative mind, through sitting in a deep meditation, breathing properly, experiencing yourself, going beyond just this physical body, that every human being can project into this whole vastness and feel the vastness of that. It's unending. We say without beginning, without end, that every human being has that capacity. And to achieve it is to simply come into the own self and being within your own self, and to feel what is that vibration of life within me. What is that soul? What is the association of this soul to my mind, to my body, to my spirit, to all those parts of us? What is that soul? What is soul itself? Soul, the very essence, the core elementary being within you, that which relates to that which is your inner truth, which can be never separated from you. The core of you, that soul of you, can never be separated from you. So we either experience what is that soul and how do we develop that soul which experiences everything, both finite and infinite, to develop that soul, to nurture that soul of ours, that core of our being, and to have that relationship with our soul. So the relationship becomes what is the interaction of life. Not that I'm just interacting from my mind only and from my spoken word and that's my interaction. But when the depth of myself interacts with my soul and that core value and core belief within myself that is held in there, that represents how I express, represents how I communicate, represents how I carry relationships, represents how I feel about my vastness in the vastness of the universe, to experience all goodness, all light, all challenges that come to me are challenged through that so that I can progress in life, that I can grow in life. And that we connect with each other on that frequency, with each other from that level of the soul. And when we connect to each other from the level of the soul, that's a different relationship. And to see the soul within each other, and to recognize that soul. Sometimes some of the young people say, well, they say, Babaji, when am I going to find my soulmate? I said, first find your soul, then we'll talk about a mate. We have to find that within ourselves. And from that becomes the experience of life. But we're not really shown that pathway. We're not given that understanding how to experience that. But we're very fortunate that there's so much available today to learn how to create that relationship. And from my experience, that relationship comes through a strong meditative mind, a strong meditative consciousness, vibrating the Nam, vibrating that which is vibrating within you, that vibrates within this physical body, which vibrates then out into your electromagnetic field, and through the electromagnetic field of the self connecting to the electric magnetic field of the entire universe. It's one and the same. It's not separated. There's two concepts we call, one is Nirgun and the other is Sargun. So what does that Nirgun means? Nirgun means that which is formless. So we say that which created creation is Nirgun. Gun means the virtue. Nirgun means that which has no form, has no limit. Sargun is what? Is that virtue of the excellence of being in this form. So we say that who created all creation is Nirgun, is formless, but is also Sargun, exists in every form. There's no separation, they're one and the same. So how is that understood? Nirgun means that I can experience the vastness of consciousness to that which is formless, which created me as a creature to be in this form, that's Sargun, to be in this form, that I can experience my interaction with my environments to experience what? To experience enlightenment, to experience consciousness, to experience an elevated sense of myself, a connection to my soul, so that the soul of me within myself, that connection connects to the soul of the universe, the Atma to the Paramatma, the soul to the Paramatma, the infinite soul, so that I can develop and expand to see the vastness of myself. When that's understood and that relationship is maintained, then we call spiritual life. Spiritual life is when your Atma connects to Paramatma, to the infinite soul, and there's no separation of that. The technology to reach that we call Guru, that we call that which moves us from darkness to light, which lives in each of us, and each of us have that capacity. And then through that experience and that connection, then we can do our day-to-day routines and work and this and that and family, all that. It's all part of it. That's the Sargun. That's that part that manifests itself in the physical reality, that has brought the formless one into our form, so there's no separation between that. So that which is formless has also exists in every form. So there's no separation. And when there's no separation, there's no duality. And when there's no duality, what exists is called totality. That totality exists within that, and we feel total. We feel that we're never separated. And whenever we feel that we're never separated, we're always connected to the vastness of our consciousness through this Datham Door, through the 10th gate. That you can say funnel of light that's flowing into us and through us, that connects to the universe. So then we see the purity of life. At that point, the purity of life comes to us. So it's something to attain to. We always say, oh, I want to be liberated, I want to find my enlightenment, I want to do all of that. But what is that? Enlightenment is simply that I recognize the light that exists, that Jyot, that light which exists within me. And that Jyot, that light that exists within me, is existent in the entire universe. So there's no separation. That's the form to the formless, the Nirgun to the Sargun. There's no separation between those two. And therefore I'm not separated. I don't feel separated. So this mind of mine doesn't fall into those traps of negativity. It doesn't fall into those traps of doubt and being in fear. Because I know that I'm contained. And I'm contained by the container of the universe, which has given me this breath of life that I can share out from me and be part of all that exists. And then love grows in the heart. At that point, love grows in the heart. That's the expansion, my belief. That's the expansion of each of us. And that starts from the relationship to the soul, and to understand who we are within ourselves, to experience that ecstasy, that grace, that beauty, that contentment, santok, shanti, to feel the peace, anand, to feel the bliss, sukh, to feel the contentment of all that exists of life, so that I don't get trapped into the dukh, I don't get trapped into the sadness of life, which can happen to us. We know that. There's times in our lives where we have fallen into that and questioned, which created more doubt. But how did we get out of that? We got out of that through our trust. Trust in that which created this creation and created me to be here as part of this creation to experience my consciousness. So we continually strive for that experience and to maintain that experience, and that's why our sadhana, our spiritual practice, is very important. To keep us balanced every day, to have that understanding, to connect our breathing, to vibrate the sound current, to be meditative. And in whatever practice you practice, to be able to vibrate that within you. That vibrates through your electromagnetic field. That expands outside of you. That attracts things into you. It's all part of that. We are nothing but an electromagnetic field. We're a magnet. And that magnet attracts everything. So why am I fighting against it? If you take the polarity of two magnets, you try to put them together, they won't go. They're going to resist each other. You take two of those magnets, you've tried that, and you try to put it together, and it resists. But when we turn it the other side, it merges together and merges into itself. That electromagnetic field merges into the electromagnetic field of the universe. And then we see that pathway. That's the path of light. And we read all those things, pathway of light, the conduit of light, all those things that we hear. There's a reality to that and a truth to that. And that's experienced within ourselves. And each of us have our own individual feeling about that. I can express, this is how I do it. This is my experience of it. This is how I feel contained within that. But every one of us, each of you, have your own feeling about that, have your own relationship to that, have your own experience of that. Because every human being, each of us are unique. And the only key element is let us do that, let us vibrate that, understand it, embrace it within ourselves, and let that carry us through to a better tomorrow. And help to share that with others so we can share this message of peace, that we can help bring this world to peace, that we can honor the sacredness of humanity, not the destruction of humanity. And that is a key element to understand, and that starts within me, to see the sacredness within myself, and to see the sacredness within everything. That which has no form has given every form for us to enjoy and to be with. And to merge into that, and to merge together with each other, so that we can feel the peace of life and the relaxation of life. And to feel the goodness in our hearts. So let us work towards that. Let that be our goal. Let that be our experience. And let our prayers for peace be heard at a time when Mother Earth is suffering, at a time when this planet is suffering, at a time when we need to share with each other to give hope for tomorrow, especially for our young people, so that we can create a better world, a world of peace, a world of prosperity, a world of kindness, of acceptance and tolerance for everyone. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.